Okay. Hopefully that's good. Not that anybody's watching, so it doesn't super matter. Okay. So let's start a new project. Laravel new bracket box. Yes, I want to use a starter kit. I want to use Livewire with Laravel's authentication. Yes. No. Let it run. So it's running, it's setting up a Laravel project. Now it's setting up Laravel Boost. Cool. So now I want to CD into that folder. And then let's open it up in code. Let's open up Solo and create a new project for sites, personal, bracket, box. Sure. Okay. Let's start npm run dev. Let's do x here and do bracket box dot test. Cool. And we've got the Laravel login page. It looks tiny. Okay. I guess it's just because my resolution is super high. Okay. So now let's... I don't know where to start. Let's have... Well, we gotta have a homepage. So let's add a Claude and a codex. And yes, I trust this folder. Yes, I trust this folder. Yes. Yes. Okay. Through July 12th. It is July 12th. Well, okay. Well, I guess I'm going to use this Fable critic. Okay. We are building Bracket Box, a place where users can create their own brackets in order to run a competition through voting. For example, we could have a bracket of all of the sodas that are popular in the Laravel community. Oh, you can hear the music. That's interesting. Oops. Why is the music playing? Oh, yeah, because that's way high. Blah, blah, blah. Is that better, Tilly? Yep. Okay, so let's see. We're building Bracket Box, a place where users can create their own brackets in order to run a competition through voting. For example, we could have a bracket of all the sodas that are popular in the Laravel community. And users can vote for their favorite, wow, in each match. including in a winner. Let's see. Let's create a implementation plan and save it to a solo Scratchpad. And you should ask me any questions you have for implementation, design choices, etc. Honking. I love the little words that Claude chooses because I'm just like, what is honking? Like honking a car? Like I don't understand what that has to do with coding, but okay. Let's cool. Can anybody vote? Let's do nobody for now. Yes, timed rounds. Power of 2. No bytes keeps. What bracket size and seating? Yeah, power of 2. How should we vote results while a round is live? Live percentages after voting. Submit. Yep. What does each contestant consist of? Name and image, name only, name, image, and description. Let's just do name and image. How should a tied match be resolved when a round closes? Random winner. Yes, and don't ask again. I'm curious what it comes up with. Because I haven't really built like a game like this before. I think like I know how I want the form of setting it up all to work, and I know how the voting should work, but it still like feels different for some reason because it's less cruddy, kind of. Calling solo 2 times. Do. Yes. Cool. Bracket box implementation plan. A place to create voting brackets, e.g. best soda in the Laravel community where the public votes match by match until a champion emerges. Voting. Anyone can vote. No account required. Deduplicated best effort by signed session cookie identifier. Yeah. Round advancement, timed rounds. Yep. Owner sets a per round duration. The schedule round closes. Resolves winners. Yep. Power of 2. Yep. Owner arranges matchup order manually. No buys. Correct. Results display. Hidden until you vote in a match. After voting, you will see live percentages for the match. Closed voting. Closed matches show final tallies to everyone. Cool. Public gallery. Yep. Contestants. Okay. Yeah, okay. Contestants is the right name. I was using like categories in my head, but I think contestants is fine. It kind of matches the like why are you waiting on my input? You finished. Okay. Do. Laravel fresh app. Yep. Yes. Brackets. User ID, which is the owner. Yep. Name, slug. Cool. Size. I don't know if the size needs to be determined. Like, I feel like it might be a better user experience to like add in the contestants, and then once you pass 16 it jumps to 32. But it also might be nice to just pick, I want 32 for starters. But we can revisit that later. Round duration, hours, sure. Is unlisted. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think it could also be a status. So like draft, unlisted, public, private. And that could be an enum instead of just a Boolean flag. Okay, we'll leave that for now and see. Current round, nullable int, completed at nullable timestamps. Okay. I don't know if we actually, well, we'll figure it out. Contestants, bracket ID, name, image, path, seed, int, owner's manual ordering is also used for initial matchup pairing seed. I don't know if we actually care about seeds because, like, I feel like in the case of a soda, like, I would want to put Diet Coke up against Diet Pepsi, and I would want to put regular Coke up against like regular Pepsi, and then so like put like things together. Whereas like I know for sports, most times it's like you have a ranked seed of like this team is statistically better than this team, so like we're gonna order them in terms of some statistical order, and then group it that way. And so I think it depends on like what kind of bracket are you doing, if it matters. So we might remove seed for now and like add it in later, but also I have Fable credits, so maybe we just let it rip and see what the hell it does. Matches, so that would be like each game. Bracket ID, round, first round. Okay. Position, slot within round. Okay. Contestant 1, contestant 2. Nullable, yep. Winner ID, yep. Decided by coin flip. Yeah. I would say like yeah, decided by coin flip is fine. I don't need to be that precious about the database design. Opens at, closes at. Okay, all matches for the whole bracket are generated at launch. Only one round gets contestants, open close times. This makes rendering the full bracket tree trivial. True. Votes. Match ID, contestant ID, voter hash, string, user nullable because they might not be logged in. Unique index on. Yep. Bracket status. Draft active completed. Where is this going to be used? Okay, there's the status. Okay, so we have the status of like in progress, and then we also have like the privacy or like publicness, which is unlisted, which I still kind of feel like should also be an enum, but I guess it doesn't super matter. Draft, the owner creates a bracket, name, description, size, round, duration, unlisted flag, adds, edits, reorders, contestants, uploads images, bracket page shows a preview, no voting. Owner action only when the contestant count equals size. Launch bracket action. Generate all matches for all rounds. Pair round 1 by seed order. Set round 1. Yeah. I still want to talk to Fable more about the seed order because it's like, I feel like sometimes seed matters and sometimes it doesn't. Voting. Public votes on open matches in the current round. Round close. Schedule command. Close. Do rounds every minute via schedule. Cool. Close round action per do bracket tally each match winner. Yep. Populate next round's matches. Cool. Actions. Launch bracket. Close round. Cast vote. Cool. And test share one code path. Okay. Do we care about AI agents? Because I could see like Taylor or folks spamming the voting and be like, hey, let's vote up Coke Zero, even though Diet Coke is clearly better. So let's see. Do we care about seeds right now? Do we care about non-human votes? Cool. So routes and pages. We've got a get gallery of active public brackets, later completed section. Cool. Brackets slug. Bracket page, tree view, voting UI for open matches. Okay. Dashboard. Cool. Brackets create, brackets edit. Yeah. I don't know if I always love I don't know if I always love the single file components. I do really like the multi-file components because I like the single file components. If you want tests in the directory, are still multiple files. And so I like the multi-file components because if they're going to be multiple files anyway, they might as well just be a multi-file component. And then like picking one over the other is just more consistent, and I like consistency, and I just like consistency. So we're going to change this to always use multi-file components. Pages gallery, a list of brackets. Pages bracket show, bracket tree plus embedded voting, wire poll 15. No WebSockets in V1. I might actually want to use WebSockets to like actually use Reverb for the first time because I've never actually played with Reverb. Okay, for V1 or the first draft, we'll do wire poll and then we can add in Reverb later. Details form, contestant manager, wire sort, image upload with file uploads, launch button with confirmation. Yep. Match card, one matchup. 2 contestants, cards before your vote, no tallies after, percentage bars. Okay. bracket policy, yep. Voting needs no auth, correct-ish. Guest voter cookie middleware, ensure voter token issues a random 40-chart token cookie, 5-year expiry, encrypted with Laravel's crypt. Okay. We're going to store on the public disk. Okay. Ask Claude to rework for cloud. Okay, where were we? Images. Livewire temporary upload validated max 2 meg. Sure. Resize client display CSS via v1. No image. Yeah. Delete file when contestant is removed or image is replaced. Yes. Migration models and factories. Match is not reserved in PHP 8. Still name model bracket match map to matches table only if needed. Yeah, I would rather prefix it with bracket just because it's nested and I don't want it to be confusing. Use matchup. No. Deferred. Explicitly out of v1. WebSockets reverb. Okay. Bracket templates, cloning, comments, social auth. Sure. Rate limiting beyond cookie dupe and throttle. Okay. Image resizing, optimization pipeline, open questions, find to defaults, flag if you disagree. Round duration presets. Yep, I'm good with that. Draft brackets, visible. Plan assumes owner only until. Okay. Yes. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yes, let's use the round duration as a preset drop down rather than a free form. And let's keep draft brackets being owner only until launch. Also, this will be deployed to Laravel Cloud, so will the file management section need to be updated accordingly to use a bucket rather than local file storage. Cool. What do y'all do while it's thinking? Because I don't want to split my focus and start working on something else, because my ADHD will go on many adventures. And it's but sometimes I need to actually focus on this thing. And I've seen discourse online of this is ADHD superpower because you can switch contexts all the time. And it's true. And me having the sprinkle of autism means that that's actually harder. At least for me, but I could be weird, which is entirely possible. Yeah. Don't ask again. But yeah, on the stream on Friday with Simon and Shane picked up his guitar, and so I was thinking about bringing my guitar to the office because that would be nice. Because then it's like it's a thing that's easy to put down when this is done. Whereas like if you switch to a totally different context or like a totally different app, I find it harder to like come back and be like, oh yeah, where was I? And keep the context, my own context of like where we were and what we were doing if I totally like went on a side quest for 20 minutes. I don't know. Just thoughts. I hope my sound is better. Ba-ba-da-ba. Deliberating. But yeah, I guess I should bring my guitar to the office. Especially on weekends when there's nobody here to be bothered by it. Okay. Oops. Oh, this is way jacky. I can't even see everything. Okay, so let's try 2024 or 2048. Restart. I can't see anything. Damn. Maybe those don't work in V2 yet. Dang. Okay, so I also followed the notes you left on the... No, we don't need seating for V1. The seat column is nothing more than an ownership manual. Okay. And an abuse mitigation section with cheap layered defenses for V1. Voter requires a cookie. Pre-issued. Rate limiting per IP. Okay. Don't know what this means. What does HMAC hashes mean? HMAC stands for hash-based message authentication code. It is a way of hashing a value. Okay, cool. Okay, let's start with the first thingy. Starting on step 1, migrations, models, factories, and their tests. First, a quick look up at the existing conventions. There are none because, I mean, it's just default Laravel at this point because I just created the thing. Reading 2 files, listing 1 directory. Okay. Calling boost. Yes, and don't ask again for PHP Artisan because that's safe enough. Ba-ba-da-ba. Well, I guess I can check Twitter. Notifications. Yay, Tilly liked and retweeted. That's nice. Oh, through 19th now. Cool. What the hell is this? Okay, are you done? Sure. I just want to do yes because I don't want to do just give it free access to destructive efforts. No, thank you. Oh, I probably should have initialized git. Whoops. Git init. Let's open up Sublime Merge and let's open up the repo. I heard the ding from Solo. So let's go into personal bracket box, open. We've got 197 files. Whoops. Okay. Let's open up git ignore. And let's open up code Sunny. And let's go to my git ignore here. And then I'm going to copy this. Because all of these Laravel boosted like generated files, like I don't like putting in my git history. So I don't need this. Stage. No, wait, I don't want to do that yet. Damn it. Unstage. Keep that. I want to try and only commit the initial things that would have come out of Laravel new. Keep. We'll commit the solo file. I think that's fine. Feature auth. We'll keep all of the auth tests. Is this changed yet? No. So we'll stage that. We'll stage the example test. We'll stage these and this and this and this and this and all of these. Sorry, I should have just done a git commit at the beginning, but I forgot. Okay, so we'll do init, and now we'll do. Did it not include AMP and codex? Nope. AMP and codex. We'll put ABCD. Okay. We'll add that to the last. Okay. So now let's see what it wanted. Do you want to make this edit? Yes. Do. Okay. Okay, so we like that status. This bracket model is fine. Note to self that we should install a duster and rector. Oops. Okay. I've got a remarkable that I love writing notes in. Okay. Let's see. Are you done? No. We can stage that. I hate these. Do we have to? I know PHP Stan is default now, but I hate those properties so much. Okay. We're going to start. Oops. Okay. What is AppKite? Copying ideas is one of the worst ways to make an app. Yes, that's true. Okay. So I wanted to open it up in the code editor so I can go to app, models, bracket, and I can get rid of these comments that I don't like because I'm still a little OCD about my code. Especially when I need these comments that I would rather not have because I'm just still a little, well, not used to it. Okay. The total number of rounds for this bracket size. Total rounds tells me that. We're calling the total rounds in the bracket. I do not need this comment. No, thank you. Okay, I'll keep those because I have to. I know the AIs don't always love it when I'm editing the files that they are, but I'm not just going to sit here and do nothing while they're working. Let's see. How you doing? Okay. What do you want to run? Attempt. Okay. Sure. Are you going to do the thing that I want you to do? Are you listening to me? That's creepy. Maybe. I don't know. Does anybody remember yeah, it's definitely noticing my changes and fixing them. Where did you learn to do that? What the hell? I'm kind of like I don't know where it learned to do that, and unless it's listening to me, which is 100% possible because it can access my thing, my mic. This is a nice shorthand. I like that. Okay. Before I do that, I am going to look at the code because that's what I do. Okay, so I know this is just setup stuff and it doesn't super matter, but I am gonna make sure that it fits what I like in my code. And already, okay. Contestants goes above user, and matchups goes above user, but under contestants. Public get route key name goes under the relationships. So my stuff usually goes, Duster usually moves this to the bottom. Matt doesn't like that it moves it to the bottom. But yeah, I would like the casts up top, but Duster usually moves it to the bottom because protected goes last. Then I keep all of the relations or computed properties together in alphabetical order. Then public functions in alphabetical order after. So let's update these if needed, which is probably not. Is open, votes, winner. Okay, V goes before W. Nope. X. There we go. Contestant 2, contestant 1. Okay, that's fine. I don't know if I love this relationship. I guess I would have called it A or B, but I guess that doesn't actually matter. Votes, contestant, matchup. So matchup goes under contestant. Cool. Now let's go look at the factories. Because sometimes it does weird things with the factories. Like, we don't need this function, I don't think. Oh, I see. So what this is doing is it's taking the attributes, it's using the attributes, the name that was passed in, so we don't have to pass in a slug, and then concatenating on a random 6, which is probably good because I will probably tend to use the same name for tests. Description, I thought we decided no description. Oh, this is for the bracket. Okay, that's fine. Size, fake, that's fine. Status, draft, that's fine. Round duration hours, fake. Okay, cool. Indicate if the bracket. Okay. See, these comments are redundant, in my opinion. We're not using these attributes, so let's get rid of them. Okay. Collapse this down. Collapse this down. Okay. Bracket ID factory. Cool. Cool. Collapse. Collapse. Don't need this. Nope. I need the public part. Open, closed. Closed goes before open because it's alphabetical. Cool. Get rid of these. Not used. Okay, so closed opens at. Okay. And open. Yep. Okay. User factory. Get rid of this. Okay. Don't need this. Don't need this. UVW. Okay. So unverified does go before with two-factor. I know this is boring. I'm sorry. Okay, so we've got a matchup factory, contestant factory, stir random voter hash. Cool. Wait, why is user ID none? Okay, because voter hash, yeah, the user might not exist. Yeah, duh. Okay, let's take a look at the migrations. Don't need these. Let's get rid of these two. Let's do shift all and replace it with nothing. And same with this. up and down are obviously exceptions to the alphabetical rule because just up goes before down. These are default. Why am I looking at these? Okay. Brackets. Constrained, cascade down, delete. Yep. Name, slug. Description, nullable, size. Okay, it should be unsigned because we don't want negative. Status, default. Yeah, that's fine. Unsigned integer. Okay. Default is 24. That's cool. Unlisted is false. Okay. Current round nullable. Completed at nullable. Okay. So it belongs to a bracket ID, name, image path. I do like that we're just using image paths because I don't want the heaviness of Spacie's media library just yet. Okay, we've got this one and this one. They both need to be nullable because, yep, the winner. Okay. Divided by flip coin. Okay. Matchup ID, contestant, voter hash, nullable, constrained on delete. Yep. Okay. What else was done? Discard this line. Stage. Discard this line. Oops. Missed that one. On stage. Discard. Okay. Let's see. Remove comments from default migrations. Okay, now let's look at this again. What's next? Okay, so now we got the test, bracket test. Okay. Okay, so this is testing the factory. Bye. This is generates also testing the factory. Testing the factory. We don't test factories usually, or I don't. See, this is actually testing a thing on the model, so that stays. It returns matchups ordered by round, then position. But it's testing that, like, this isn't, we're testing bracket, then the matchups, and then we're formatting it the way we want it to. Oh, okay. Let's go look at the matchups in bracket. Okay, so we're ordering by round and we're ordering by position. Okay, so we are testing these extra things that we added on. Okay, I'll allow it. Return contestants ordered by seed. I thought we removed seed. Okay. It returns contestants ordered by seed. So let's go look at the bracket and see if contestants, okay, they're also ordered. Okay, fine. Yep, that's not testing the actual model. Okay, so we're just going to keep these ones that are actually testing custom code. And yep, nope, that's a Laravel default. I'm not testing Laravel defaults. Okay, belongs to a bracket and exposes the contestants' relationships. Nope, that's testing Laravel. Again, testing Laravel is open while inside its voting in window without a winner. That is testing custom code, because that matchup model had this is open, and so this is testing this function. So that we keep. Is not open before, yep. Is not open after its window ends, yep. Is not open, yep. Yep. Prevents duplicate positions within the same round of a bracket. What is doing that? Unique? Yep. Okay. So again, this is testing the database. I mean, it is still testing the database. It's testing Laravel in the database. And so, like, is this helpful? Yeah. But also, like, it's helpful for, like, documentation that, like, if you were reading through this test class, it says that this does this. And then you go look at the migration and you're like, oh, yeah, it does this. So that, like, if you did happen to set it up in such a way that it's doing this, like, no, I'm not keeping it. No. Okay. Belongs to a matchup and a contestant. Nope, that's testing factories. Let's check the vote model again and see if there's any custom functions. Nope, there's no custom functions. So, okay, that's... Okay, I love this. Can belong to an authenticated user. To me, authenticated users in tests means that it's authenticated. So you're using acting as. And so there is no acting as here. So, like, this isn't an authenticated user like in this current session. It is a user that has authenticated at some point. It's a user that exists, but it is not an authenticated user. And we are not testing anything about session state. We are just testing that this relationship works, and that's testing Laravel, and we don't do that. Allows one vote per voter per matchup. That's testing the unique constraint, and we decided we're not testing those. It allows the same voter to vote in different matchups. No, we're just going to get rid of this entire test because it's not testing anything. Okie doke. Implement models, migrations, and factories. Okay. And yeah, let's do step 2. And while that's cooking, I am gonna take a little bathroom break, but feel free to watch it affecting, or whatever that means. So, yeah. Okay. Okay, are you actually building, or are you gonna need me for something? Okay, I'll be right back. Do you want to proceed? Yes, I do. Yes. Okay. Okie doke. Okay. So right now it's working on full suite check, then I'll update the plan. So okay. Launch bracket is built, and the full suite 54 tests, including everything from step 1, with Pineton layer stand clean. One thing to flag first, you recently tidy up. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. The action itself, launch bracket, is an invocable class following your existing Livewire actions logout convention. Cool. Guards throws invalid argument exception if the bracket isn't a draft or if the contestant count doesn't exactly match the bracket size. Cool. Guards ran before the transaction, so I rejected. Launch leaves nothing behind. Okay. Inside a transaction, it creates the whole match tree for an 8. That's 2 plus 2 plus 1. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's go double check this. So we've got launch bracket, generate the full matchup tree for the bracket, and open round 1 for voting. But like, is this helpful? Is this gonna help us in 6 months know what the hell this is doing? Yes, actually. I do actually think this is a helpful comment. It's not redundant. Like, okay, if I come back in 6 months, what does launch bracket do? It is doing something. And like, yeah, I can look at the code, but like me looking at it now, I'm like, wait, what is happening? Okay, we've got these checks, and then we're doing this transaction, but like, especially with 2 for eaches, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep the comment because I think it's helpful. I am gonna convert these to throw ifs. Granted, Rector would do it for me, but I don't want to set it up right yet, just because I'm lazy. I love how me being lazy of setting up one thing means that I'm manually typing other things, but it's fine. There's no one here to stop me. Okay, contestants. We're getting the bracket. Contestants get values. Okay, I'm going to ask Claude about this. Okay, why did we do this instead of bracket conti. What the fuck does belt and braces mean? Okay. One is load bearing and one is belt and braces. Contestants get instead of bracket contestants. This one matters. The property from lazy loads the relationship once and then caches it to the model. If the bracket instance handled has already touched bracket contestants earlier in their request, then okay. Okay, fine. Okay, fine, whatever. Fine. Throw if comma new. Oops, have an M there. And add an extra parentheses at the end. Do we need this? Nope. We don't need this because we're only using it once. Do we need this? Nope, because we're only using it once. If round is 1, we use now. Otherwise, we use null. If round is now, otherwise we use null. Correct. Because, yeah, okay. So it's creating one match every time it goes through this. I guess that's fine for now, but I feel like it could it's like one query, and so like we could instead build up an array and do create many at the same time, which I guess would technically be more performant. I don't know if we really care about performance just yet. It's one of those things where I'm like, this could be a problem, and then when it's a problem, are we going to be able to find it? But also, this is more or less a fun side project that I am building in a weekend or in a day. So you know what? I don't think it actually matters. Okay, so let's go take a look at the launch bracket action tests. I'm glad it put it in actions because that's where it should go. Except it shouldn't go in feature. It should go in unit. I does it go in unit or does it go in feature? Ugh. That's always like the hard thing. It's like for me, feature means it is testing the whole, like, back to front, or like the happy path or the not happy path. And unit tests are testing like small units or small classes or testing itself. So those model tests were testing a small function within itself. So to me, those are unit tests. And this action is also testing itself. It's not testing like from user submission. So like feature is usually, yeah, that's a better way to potentially put it. Feature tests are user land. We're testing the users and what they're doing and the effects on their actions. And unit tests are testing little bite-sized code snippets and seeing if the inputs and outputs are proper and correct. So I am going to move these actions into unit. I'm going to move models into unit. This is testing routes, so that's fine. This is also testing routes, so that's fine. I don't love the structure, but that's another problem for a different time. Because we moved actions and models into unit, we need to update our pest to include the Laravel test case in unit. Okay. So I'm gonna comment this first, move our existing tests first. So let's say move model tests to unit. Okay. So now we can go back to the launch bracket test and take a look at it. So we have a function draft bracket with contestants. Okay, so we've got a bracket with a size, and we're going to make the size of contestants unless we've specifically overridden it. For bracket sequence, cool. And it activates, so that's just a function. So we're going to freeze, we're going to create a bracket, we're going to launch that bracket. Was this, oh, this was invoke, not handle. Fortify logout. This is a create function. And this is a reset function. So like, I remember, oh, it was following this action. Okay. No, we're going to do handle instead. Why am I doing handle instead? It's kind of the convention that I've seen the community use. And I kind of like app handle better. I think it looks better. And that is not how you spell handle. And it's like, okay, we have this action and it's handling this bracket. Like, it just reads better. Okay. Why do we have red here? Expected type object found int. Does it run? Yeah. Okay, Stan, go home. If it's not actually complaining, I'm not actually gonna fix it. Okay. Oop. It pairs round 1 contestants. Cool. Leaves other round contestants. This is gonna fail. Good. Handle. And it's fixed. Cool. This is gonna fail. Oh, but it failed for the... Yeah, it did fail. It should pass. Yep, okay. I don't know why it did this instead of this. Yeah, I like this better. I like using the built-in pest functions when we're expecting something to throw. I like this better. Let me check my text messages really quick. Okay. So, where do we leave off? Okay, we checked the tests. Okay, let's double check that I like how we set this up. Yep, I like that we're using count and for and the sequence. Perfect. Okay. Expect bracket refresh status to be. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, I think all of this looks good. Okay. Let's do step 3. let's double check that the stream is working. Do. Cool. Actually, Z. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay. What is it doing? Cool. Let's double check that that's how that's done. Laravel docs. One, middleware. Defining middleware. Append. So what is it doing? It's doing alias. Ah, okay. Okay, that's fine. Invoke. Let's change it to be a handle method. I fixed it for you. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at. Did you move this? No. Okay. Let's move the middleware test to unit as well, since it's only and testing itself. Kind of wish if it says kneading, I get an animation of bread kneading. I would like the animations to kind of match the thing they're doing. It'd be kind of cool. Okay. Test unit middleware. Cool. That's done. Okay. So let's take a look at cast vote. Record or change a voter's pick for an open matchup. So we're checking. Yay, you notice that I changed it to throw if. Cool. Okay, so I don't think we need this. I think for the launch match or launch bracket, this comment was helpful. For casting a vote, I don't know if it's helpful because it's saying I'm casting a vote. I think for me, I know that I'm looking at this code base and I know that this comment would be helpful for me. In different contexts, I like to think of will I understand it in 6 months, or will my team understand it in 6 months, or is this helpful for my team or other people who didn't write this code? And I still feel like at the end of the day, after the pre-checks, we're just updating a model. So I don't think it's helpful. Hash for user is just okay. Are these helpful? No, I don't know if these are actually helpful. Okay, what is update or create? What is this signature? Let's change this to query so I can actually jump into this. So it's attributes, not query. Shoot. Okay, what is the signature for update or create? Update or create. Okay. If a flight exists with a departure location and destination of San Diego, its price and discounted columns will be updated. Okay. But I still would like to be able to jump into this. Come on, let me jump in. Extends model. Okay. GitHub Laravel framework. And then we're going to search for update or create. So it was a builder method. Okay. Attributes and values. I hate those method names or those variable names. They're not very descriptive or helpful. Because in these types of situations with update or create, and so I'm like, okay, what is the difference between these arrays? It would, to me, I like the upsert method better in cases like this, in cases like this, when I'm updating multiple things, I like the upsert method better because I think that the upsert is more descriptive values and unique by. Okay, so like, see, to me that makes more sense than attributes and values. Like, attributes and values are like the same thing. So these are the values that we're inserting, and this is what it's unique by. And so it's similar, like, this is what it's unique by. This is what we're searching by. And if this doesn't exist, we're regardless inserting or updating this. Okay. I'm still gonna make this an array. I'm gonna add these. It's not strictly speaking necessary, but I think it maybe will be helpful for me in the future. And just got really warm, so I'm gonna turn on my fan. Okay. I like this, but I almost... Guest token. Where is the guest token? Okay, it's coming in from here. Okay, so we're saying if... So we're taking a matchup, we're taking the contestant that we're voting for, and then we're saying this user or this guest. Okay, and we can't vote for somebody that's not in this matchup. Okay. I think I might want to change this to, instead of a ternary, to a private function that is generate hash, or generate voter hash, or get voter hash, which is what I'm gonna do. This get voter hash, and we're gonna say user token. And yeah, one or both of those can be null, or they can't both be null. But we can... Okay, we know from this that one or both of those will not be null. So I still think we can do private function get voter hash user equals null, and copy this. I am probably gonna break here soon for lunch. If user, then we'll say what is the second parameter of this? Data equals user colon dot user ID else data equals, or this can be a ternary, I think. Data equals user colon, or we'll say user, user colon dot user ID colon, yeah, guest token. So that's setting up the data, and then we can do this, return data. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so let me stage that because we're done looking at that. Let's go look at the cast vote test first. So we're going to open matchup with contestants. So we're going to get a bracket, contestants factory 2. Okay, that makes sense. I like the usage of Sol here because it's like ensuring that there's only one. And it'll throw if there's not. But then again, this already did that, so does vote return vote? Because if it doesn't, it does. Doesn't matter. This tests what we needed to test. This is testing the prefix. Okay, cool, that looks good. See, this comment I like because ensure voter token doesn't say that it's long time running. I guess I could comment this. So that's 60 minutes times 24 hours times 365 times 5. So that's 5 years. 5 years. Okay. If request cookies has cookie token random set what is cookie queue? I don't know if I've seen that before. So let's go to the docs, look at cookie. Okay. That should be on a new line. Let's use the get function from past. Let's move this to a new line. Get we don't need this temporary variable. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Do I order food or go get food? Okay. Let's see how many steps there are total. Okay, let's finish up this action and then we're going to pause. And I will get lunch and then I'll come back and we can finish up with the UI. That sounds good. So let's see where it's at. This is really good. This looks really cool. end that, because that had to do with the last one. Okie doke. So now we are adding brackets close do rounds. What is do? D-U-E. What does it mean by that? Close bracket test, but let's look at console. Okay, so it's saying like it closed the rounds that were due to O. Okay. Or close, that makes sense. Okay, so bracket query where bracket status is active, where matchups. Okay, so let's get all the ones that are due. Close round. So that's the action. If bracket is access and current round is null. I'm going to keep that comment because it is helpful context. So we've got the current round. We're getting the matchups where it is the round, and we're deciding the winner. If the round, okay, so if it's the last one, we're going to update, okay. For each. What are for place? So what the World Cup does for third place is we've got a like third place match. Yeah, let's leave it out. I was just curious. Okay. Bracket matchups where the round is +1. So, okay, so we're gonna. Okay. Current round, we're gonna get the bracket matchups where this round is this round. Each matchup decide winner. Let's go take a look at decide winner. Matchup votes, select raw. Contestant ID is total, group by. Okay, that's actually a pretty succinct query. Like, we're using MySQL features or like we're using features of the database to actually make a fairly powerful, like simple query. That's nice. I like that. So we're going to get the tallies for 1 and 2 and default to 0. That makes sense. If votes for 1 equals votes for 2, this is the handle tie. We're going to do random int. What do you need? Nope, that's not the right tab. Okay. So random int. So that's our flip a coin. Okay. And we're updating. Okay. Winner. Okay. So now, after we've decided the winner for each, we've got our closed ones, and if the round is the total round, we're closing the match. And then for each closed, as matchups, we're going to open the ones that are next and update those matches to include the winner. That makes sense. Now, bracket matchups where +1 update opens at. Okay. Again, like, we're doing a lot of like updating each individual thing. So like we're doing a for loop for updating each matchup for the next round, and then updating them all at once, this one. And as you decrease in size, the number of queries this takes is less. But again, I don't know. It works, I'm sure, so we can defer it. Close round. Again, this goes here because we're okay. So the cast vote test that I should update the previous. Amend because I missed that. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting hungry, so I'm kind of rushing through this. Okay. That looks good. Okay. Okay. So we've done a lot so far. Fable's helped us out a ton. And it's generated, pretty good code, I'd say. So I'm going to break. I'm going to go get lunch, and then I'll be back in an hour or so. So see y'all later.